Before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to be the first to experience these bone-chilling stories. I hesitated before recounting this tale, for the memories that lie within are etched with fear and the lingering presence of evil. But perhaps by sharing my experience, I can offer a cautionary glimpse into the horrors that can lurk in the shadows of our reality. It was a night like any other, or so I thought. I was returning home from a late-night gathering with friends, walking along the dimly lit streets of my neighborhood. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an ethereal glow over the quiet surroundings. As I turned a corner, I noticed a figure standing beneath a flickering streetlight. Intrigued, I approached cautiously. A man, dressed in a long black coat, his face obscured by the shadows, stood motionless. There was something unnatural about him, an air of darkness that made me uneasy. "Excuse me," I called out, my voice trembling slightly. "Are you all right?" The man's head turned slowly, revealing a pair of piercing eyes that seemed to glow with an unholy fire. His lips curled into a sinister smile, revealing sharp, elongated fangs. Fear gripped me, and I took a step back, my heart racing. Before I could react, he lunged towards me with supernatural speed, his fangs bared. Instinct kicked in, and I managed to sidestep his attack, narrowly avoiding his deadly embrace. Panic flooded through me as I realized I was facing a vampire. With adrenaline coursing through my veins, I fled into the darkness, desperate to escape the clutches of this unearthly predator. The vampire pursued me relentlessly, his unearthly presence haunting my every step. The world around me blurred as I sprinted through the night, my heart pounding in my chest. As luck would have it, I stumbled upon an old abandoned church. With no other options, I darted inside, praying that the sanctity of the holy ground would offer me protection. The air inside the church was heavy, suffused with a sense of solemnity and ancient power. I sought refuge behind the pulpit, gasping for breath, my mind racing with thoughts of survival. The vampire's predatory whispers echoed outside, taunting me, tempting me to come out of my hiding place. But I clung to the flickering hope that the sacred walls of the church would keep me safe. Time seemed to stretch as I waited, each passing moment an eternity. The vampire's presence outside remained, a constant reminder of the danger lurking just beyond the church doors. But I resolved to stay hidden, to outlast the night and emerge victorious. Hours passed, the silence broken only by the distant sound of the vampire's frustrated growls. Dawn approached, its soft glow piercing through the stained glass windows, bathing the interior of the church in a warm, comforting light. The vampire, weakened by the coming day, retreated into the shadows. I cautiously emerged from my hiding place, my body trembling with exhaustion and relief. I had survived the encounter, narrowly escaping the clutches of the undead, but the memory of those haunting eyes and menacing fangs would forever haunt my dreams. From that night forward, I became a hunter in my own right, dedicated to protecting innocent lives from the horrors that walk among us. Armed with knowledge, weapons, and an unyielding determination, I sought out the darkness, driven by the desire to ensure that no one would suffer the same fate I had narrowly escaped. Remember, dear reader, that evil exists in the most unexpected places. Be wary of the shadows that loom around you, for you never know what horrors may be lurking in the darkness. Stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and may you find the strength to survive the terrors that lie in wait. I treaded cautiously through the crumbling corridors of the old castle, its grandeur faded by the passage of time. The air was thick with an ancient, musty scent, and the weight of history hung heavy in every shadow. I was drawn to this place, an explorer seeking the secrets that lay hidden within its decaying walls. Little did I know that I would uncover a horror that would forever haunt my nightmares. As I ventured deeper into the castle's labyrinthine passages, an unsettling chill crept down my spine. I could feel the weight of centuries of stories and tragedies pressing against me, as if the very stones of the castle whispered of forgotten darkness. But curiosity pushed me forward, driving me to uncover the truth that lay in wait. I entered a vast chamber, its ceiling adorned with intricate but faded frescoes. A sense of unease settled upon me, as if the room itself held its breath, waiting for my next move. As I swept the room with my flashlight, My gaze fell upon a colossal wooden coffin, perched on an elevated dais. My heart quickened its pace, a mixture of excitement and trepidation surging through my veins. Could this be the resting place of a vampire, a creature of the night that had haunted countless tales? A part of me urged caution, warning of the dangers that awaited. But another part, fueled by a thirst for discovery, pushed me to pry open the lid and confront the unknown. Gathering my courage, I approached the coffin, my hand trembling as I reached for the ornate lid. With a grating sound, I slid it aside, revealing the darkness within. To my relief, the coffin appeared empty, the pillows and linens worn and musty from neglect. I sighed, my fears easing, and turned to leave the chamber. But just as I took my first step, a gust of wind extinguished my flashlight, plunging the chamber into absolute darkness. Panic surged through me as I fumbled for a match, desperate for a sliver of light to guide my way. With trembling hands, I struck the match and held it aloft, its feeble glow revealing a figure standing before me. It was a man, pale and emaciated, his eyes blazing with a crimson fire. My breath caught in my throat as recognition washed over me. This was no ordinary man. This was the embodiment of the vampire legend, standing before me in all his sinister glory. Paralyzed by fear, I watched as the vampire slowly approached, his movements graceful yet unholy. He extended a hand, his voice resonating with an otherworldly magnetism. "Welcome, mortal," he whispered, his voice as smooth as silk. "You have stumbled upon my sanctuary." I attempted to retreat, but my body refused to obey. His eyes held me captive, his gaze piercing through my very soul. I was at his mercy, caught in the clutches of an ancient and predatory being. With every step he took, the room grew colder, the air thick with malevolence. The vampire's presence seemed to swallow the light, leaving only the darkness to surround us. I could feel his breath on my neck, his hunger emanating from every pore. But just as his fangs descended, poised to pierce my flesh, a ray of sunlight broke through a crack in the chamber's ceiling. The vampire recoiled, his skin sizzling as he sought refuge from the life-giving rays. It was my chance, my fleeting moment of salvation. Summoning every ounce of strength, I lunged toward the exit, fueled by a desperation to escape the clutches of this ancient evil. As I burst into the sunlight, a cry of agony echoed behind me, carried on the wind. I dared not look back, for the mere thought of his piercing gaze sent shivers down my spine. I stumbled out of the castle, gasping for breath, my body shaken to its core. The weight of what I had encountered settled upon me, and I realized that I had brushed against the edge of an abyss, one that threatened to consume me entirely. From that day forward, I carried the knowledge of the vampire's existence, a constant reminder that darkness exists, lurking in the most unexpected places. The memory of that encounter has forever changed me, leaving me with a haunting awareness that evil walks among us, hidden beneath layers of history and forgotten lore. So, dear reader, heed my cautionary tale. Do not underestimate the power of legends and the truths that lie within. Be wary of the places you explore, for there are secrets that should remain buried, and horrors that should remain undisturbed. I must warn you, dear reader, that the events I am about to recount are not for the faint of heart. They are a testament to the dark, chilling depths that can exist within our reality, and the horrors that can befall those who dare to tread into the unknown. It was a moonless night, the kind that wraps the world in an inky shroud, obscuring all but the dimmest of lights. I found myself navigating a labyrinthine maze of narrow, dimly lit alleys, my footsteps echoing against the cold, damp pavement. Shadows danced in the corners of my vision, a constant reminder of the eerie solitude that enveloped me. As I hastened my pace, eager to escape the suffocating atmosphere of the alley, a flicker of movement caught my eye. A silhouette emerged from the darkness, its form distinct yet distorted, as if reality itself were warping around it. My heart quickened its pace, sensing the danger that lurked before me. The figure drew closer, revealing itself to be a man, tall and imposing. His features were shrouded in darkness, leaving only his piercing, blood-red eyes visible. I froze in place, a primal fear coursing through my veins. I had stumbled upon a vampire, an ancient creature of the night, and I was ensnared in its deadly gaze. A twisted smile spread across the vampire's face, his lips parting to reveal elongated fangs gleaming in the dim light. The sight sent a chill down my spine, a chilling realization that I was standing face to face with a creature of nightmare. The vampire stepped closer, his presence suffocating. His voice was a haunting whisper, seeping into my mind like tendrils of darkness. "You've walked into my domain, mortal," he hissed, his voice carrying a cold, otherworldly power. "Prepare to face your darkest fears." Fear and adrenaline surged through my veins as I fought against the paralyzing grip of terror. With every fiber of my being, I willed myself to break free from his hypnotic hold. Drawing upon a hidden reserve of strength, I turned and fled, the echoes of his chilling laughter pursuing me through the labyrinthine alleys. As I ran, my mind raced, searching for a way to escape the clutches of this supernatural menace. I knew I couldn't outrun him forever, his inhuman speed closing in on me. Desperation gripped my chest, threatening to consume me whole. In a stroke of luck or divine intervention, I spotted a flickering neon sign in the distance. It was a small, seedy bar, its entrance beckoning like a beacon of hope. I mustered the last of my strength, pushing my body to its limits as I sprinted toward salvation. Bursting through the doors, I was greeted by a cacophony of noise and the stench of stale beer. The bar was dimly lit, its patrons lost in their own worlds of escapism. But I had no time for respite. I scanned the room, searching for anything that could aid me in my battle against the vampire. My eyes settled on the bar counter, and a glint of silver caught my attention. It was a steel knife, gleaming under the dim lights. Without hesitation, I seized it, feeling the weight of it in my hand. It was a feeble weapon against a creature of the night, but it was all I had. As I made my way back to the alley, my heart pounded in my chest, each beat a reminder of the impending confrontation. I steeled my resolve, ready to face the vampire head-on, to defy the fate that he had intended for me. Back in the alley, the vampire awaited me, his crimson eyes burning with an unholy hunger. But this time I refused to cower. Gripping the knife tightly, I stepped forward, my voice laced with defiance. "You will not have me," I declared, my words carrying a newfound strength. "I will not be your prey." A snarl twisted the vampire's features as he lunged at me, his movements a blur of inhuman speed. I dodged and weaved, desperation guiding my every move. The knife became an extension of my arm, slashing through the air in an attempt to repel the creature's advances. In a moment of vulnerability, I struck true, the blade finding its mark. The vampire recoiled, a guttural howl escaping his lips as dark blood spilled from the wound. It was a temporary victory, a fleeting moment of respite. But I seized the opportunity and fled once more, my legs carrying me away from the alley, from the nightmare that had threatened to consume me. The vampire's enraged cries echoed behind me, growing fainter with every step. I collapsed in a nearby park, gasping for breath, the taste of victory mingling with the lingering fear. I had faced the embodiment of darkness and lived to tell the tale. It was a battle that had forever changed me, a testament to the strength that lies within even the most fragile of souls. So, dear reader, let my story serve as a reminder that evil can manifest itself in the most unexpected forms. Be wary of the shadows that lurk in the dark corners of our world, and may you find the strength to confront the horrors that may come your way.